Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning, CaneSport. It's January 11th, 2022. I'm Gary Ferman, the publisher of CaneSport.com, joined as always by our managing editor, Matt Shodell, as we sometimes discuss the news of the day. And Matt, I don't know where to begin. John Ruiz has gone from wanting to build a stadium for the University of Miami at Tropical Park, and I'm not suggesting here that he can't walk and chew gum, but he tweeted out yesterday that now he wants to buy the Miami Dolphins. And he's suing the NCAA. It was a big news day for John Ruiz yesterday, but I just figured I'd throw that in there. I'm starting to get a little confused, quite frankly. But
I mean, first of all, he never said Tropical Park, but second of all, he's coming across as a guy who just wants attention instead of a guy who behind the scenes gets things done, and that's probably not a good sign for anybody at this point, but we'll see.
Well, but we're going to find out soon, man.
Exactly.
We're going to find out real quick.
Give us the NIL money. Give us the NIL money, Mr. Ruiz.
Listen, here you're going to find out real soon because, yes, it's going to be time to get involved with the NIL conglomerate or whatever it's going to be that's forming to help Miami football and Miami basketball and athletics. It's going to be time to get involved with what's soon going to be announced as a massive facility enhancement program at University of Miami Athletics. I mean, massive. This thing is going to take on a scale unlike anything anybody ever dreamed about. Okay, that's what I'm hearing is percolating behind the scenes with Dan Radakovich and the new hierarchy that's at the Hecht Schwartz Centers. And then what else is Ruiz going to? He's got the stadium project also ongoing. So yeah, I mean. It's going to be time.
Stadium project. There's no stadium project ongoing. I don't want fans to be misled.
No, not yet. But there is a
There's nothing ongoing.
No, there's nothing ongoing yet. But there is a commitment to keep trying to move forward with it.
A verbal commitment, is it basically as good as a verbal commitment from Kane Farquharson 20 years ago when he committed to 4 different schools?
I'm with you 100%. And had you not continuously interrupted me here, which I
have to correct mistakes. You're saying the wrong things.
Don't
say the wrong things. I want to interrupt you.
You're not letting me finish my sentences. What I was getting ready to say is that, and I don't want to sound cold or insensitive about this because I met John Ruiz. He's a good dude. I loved the 30, 45-minute interview that I was able to do with him, I guess about a week or two ago. He seems very sincere. It's soon going to be time to write the checks. And I don't mean that insensitively or whatever, but, it's very unusual how open he is being about all this and really trying to be a personal PR machine for himself. And, it's going to be very silly if the checks don't ultimately get written. But, he also sponsored a 7-on-7 team over the weekend and is going to be funding the production of a documentary on this 7-on-7 team. So, and he's supporting Westminster Christian, I believe it was. So, I mean, this guy is all over the place, Matt. And I hope he is legit. I hope he writes all the checks he says he's going to write, because if he does, he's going to help a lot of people. But, that has nothing to do with the news of the day. That was just a little tangent I got off on there. I mean, I was, I can't get out of my mind that he laid down the gauntlet to Stephen Ross. Like, I want to buy your team.
Listen,
the Dolphins are probably $1.5 billion purchase right now. I mean,
I want to buy the Dolphins too. It doesn't mean I'm going to. I mean, this is the same guy. He was in a different financial situation, but a decade ago, he did have a stadium. He was supposed to pay $2 million, and it just fizzled, and he never made a payment, and it was gone. So let's just see if he does it this time. Let's everyone take a breath. Let's not think he's going to be buying the Dolphins and building stadiums all over Dade County for anyone to play in. Let's just wait and see. Everyone
He's
relax.
definitely not going to be buying the Dolphins. I feel pretty comfortable saying that. I don't think Stephen Ross is selling the Dolphins, and I feel pretty sure that Stephen Ross will have a succession plan in place when the day comes that he can't own the Dolphins anymore. I think the new buyer will be predetermined and come from his network That's just my guess. But we don't need to talk about that. All right. So also, and I will also throw in that the Homestead problems that he had were like 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
He
Different
probably
situation.
different situation. He's in a different financial place now. Probably deserves the benefit of the doubt on that. Even Matt Shodell misses a car payment every now and then.
I actually don't, because guess what, Gary? I've gotten with the modern age. You sign up for auto payments. You can't miss the payment. It's impossible. If I wanted to miss a payment, I still couldn't because I don't know how to cancel my automatic payments. Once you figure out how to do it, it's like that's it. Can't miss a payment if I wanted to. I could try, but it's hard.
All right, so where do we begin today, Matt? There's all kinds of stuff going on here. You know what? Where I think I want to start. By the way, we still don't know who the coordinators are going to be. Maybe today will be the day that we get some clarity on that. We're hoping any minute that we can break that news for you. But look, the transfers are going to start coming to visit this week, and the mid-year transfers, the guys that are looking to enroll in a week or two, and that's a good thing for Mario Cristobal and his staff because now they can touch and feel real players, and they can land them if they're able to seal the deal. So you'll see several of them that will be passing through here in the coming days, no doubt about it. And one is set to visit today, actually, and that's Alabama Birmingham defensive line transfer Antonio Moultrie, who confirmed for us that he will be visiting Miami today. If that visit goes well, the common belief is that he's going to be a Hurricane. So the Canes could be getting a little fortification on the defensive line here in this 6'4", 265-pounder. He's got 1 year of eligibility. That'll make Matt happy.
Very happy.
Matt's
Very
big
happy.
On these 1 year.
Even if the guy does nothing, even if he does nothing, he's not costing Miami because the 25 goes out the window. They can't fit 25 if they wanted to the next two classes. So this is perfect. Doesn't matter. I love this kid already. Doesn't matter that they tried to move him from D-line to linebacker, that he played at UAB, that, whatever. Like, bring him in. It's all good with me.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. We won't give the whole thing away, but it is interesting how he was asked to lose weight and change positions, and now he's, we don't know if he's coming in truthfully as a linebacker or a defensive lineman.
That size and speed, he can't play linebacker here. He's got to be a lineman. He's just got to be
a defensive end, probably. But anyway, the bottom line is transfers are going to start appearing on campus. We're expecting a lot of kids here in the next week. Some are in the portal, some aren't. But it could, we'll wait till kids enter the portal. But if what we've been hearing comes to fruition on some kids that might end up in the portal and might visit Miami, this could be an epic transfer class if they're able to land these kids. So
here's what I don't understand. Why aren't the kids who are going in the portal that we keep hearing the names of going in the portal? Because
I'll tell you,
class. Well, I know what you're going to say, but class starts in like a week. They have a week. Like, just go in the portal already. Don't believe what people are promising you at your schools.
Well, exactly. Like it's not like the places where they are just laying over and saying go somewhere else. I mean, they're trying to keep their kids, and they're putting their own NIL deals and stuff together. So listen, it's open free agency, it's open warfare in college football. This is hand-to-hand combat on a daily basis, and only the tough are going to survive. And we're going to see how this thing goes here. But if the kids that we've been hearing whispers are actually going to visit and possibly transfer, look out, folks. This Miami Hurricane football program is going to be building something really quickly here. And I think it's something to be excited about.
Let me add something real quick, because people don't recognize this. Recruiting is not what it used to be. Mario Cristobal and all these people have won Recruiter of the Year awards, and they have these reputations as amazing recruiters. Mario Cristobal could have the best relationship with a recruit. The recruit could be dying to go to his school. But if your NIL deal doesn't match up over a 4-year span with an NIL deal of some other top school, top program where the kid can do just as well, like, you're just not getting the kid. It used to be that the best relationships and the best, whatever you want to call it, coaches who can coach you up, you can start right away, whatever they want out. Now it's money. And we're just at the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, it started last July. Okay, it's been around a while, but people are just figuring out this is recruiting. You don't need to be a recruiter anymore. You just need money, because now it's legal to pay kids And basically, if you're in the NFL and one team offers you a salary that's bigger than another team's salary, that's where you're going. And that's what we're going to find out is happening in college football. And all this stuff with, oh, they're hiring these great recruiters at this school or that school or at Miami, for instance. If you don't have the NIL money to at least match what other schools are promising, other schools' boosters are promising kids and their agents, then like you're not gonna have a chance. And it's a new era. And this is why, like, when you see some like the Jackson State kid, like this is why you'll see kids go other places that maybe don't have the same football reputation in recent years as a Miami or or whatever it is. And like it's gonna keep happening because if you can get a booster or a guy with a lot of money at some companies, wherever it is, and they say, hey, call up the kid's agent or future agent, hey, we're going to get $500,000 his first year to advertise with us. He's not going somewhere else where they have no plan in place for him. Like, that's just reality, and you can't blame the kid for that. You can't blame a program for that.
Listen, I told you yesterday I don't want to talk about Manny Diaz anymore. You know what else I don't want to talk about anymore is Jackson State, because we talked about it a little bit yesterday. I found out very quickly it's a hot button for people, Jackson State. And I've given it a lot of thought. And, I kind of understand a little bit, like, why there's a little sensitivity to some of the reactions and things. And, it's an interesting topic. I don't think it's one that we really need to get into very much at CaneSport because I don't think it really is impacting Miami very much. I don't expect
it is when, and listen, it's not Jackson State, but any school that's going to be able to steal recruits from Miami legitimately. And Jackson State can become a great football program and powerhouse. They've had great football players in the past. This isn't new. They've hired a coach who can get the job done and who's drawing top talent there. And like, I'm using that as a microcosm of the bigger picture. They've just gotten on the ball quicker than everyone else. Like what Jackson State's doing now.
The argument really is if you're an elite player, are you really benefiting by going to Jackson State instead of Alabama or Georgia or Miami?
If you're not really, you're wrong.
You're getting bought.
You don't understand.
It's almost like human trafficking.
You still don't understand. You still don't understand. And would you say that to an NFL player who took more money somewhere than somewhere else? Like these coaches are all really good. Deion Sanders has a great staff. He's a great coach. He'll be fine. He'll teach kids how to play and go to the NFL. Kids have come out and been Jerry Rice, the all-time greatest receiver. But my point is this. Just like Jimmy Johnson, when he came to Miami, said, we know the formula to get top kids here. It's speed, recruit speed, and we'll win championships. Jackson State's the tip of the iceberg saying, we know the formula. We have the people in place and the people that need to get this done. And they're going to get the top recruits here so we can be a top program.
Okay, so
long, but they're at the tip of the iceberg. Good for them.
Okay, so while Alabama is playing Ole Miss, Jackson State's playing Florida A&M. While Alabama is playing Auburn, Jackson State is playing Tennessee State.
What's that
while
these
Alabama
kids, you don't know these. Some of these
is playing Texas A&M. Jackson State is playing Delta State. They're playing Alabama A&M. They're playing Alabama State. They're playing Bethune-Cookman.
Why?
I don't want to get off on a tangent about Jackson State because people are taking it very personally. But I'm sorry, I will never be convinced that an elite 5-star athlete is doing himself a favor by going to Jackson State because they might give him an extra couple $100,000.
Listen, you're still missing the bigger picture. The coaches are fine there. There's the 2% of top recruits wind up making decent money in the NFL. And you basically are making money now for your family. You don't know these student athlete situations for their families. There are some families that maybe can't pay the electric bill.
And again, I don't want to get. We're going to get off on a tangent on this again, and I don't want to get in trouble again.
Well, you're the one who brought up why you don't understand.
I know I did bring it up
because
I was just baffled yesterday by some of the responses. But if you don't think that a 5-star kid or a 4-star kid like these two kids that went to Jackson State this year, we're going to get plenty of NIL money at any other school they picked. I'm going to put it in the same category as you yesterday, thinking that Miami didn't have a scouting report and game plan for Duke. I mean,
that's
these kids,
not what I
100%
said.
what you said. And
go back and watch the tape.
These kids, you absolutely said that. And
why would I say the team doesn't have a game plan for any team? I said they had one day
listen,
oh my! Can I talk for 2 seconds?
Of money.
They had one day to practice for Duke, is what I said. I said they didn't put in the entire game plan. I said the trapping on the corners was not put in one day. They used it against Syracuse.
Okay, wait a minute. I got to take you off the screen for a minute so I can finish. Listen, these kids, no matter where they go, and these two that went to Jackson State, they're making plenty of money no matter what school they went to. So I just hope that it works out for them. Is the way I really feel. Like, if it was my son, I mean, there is no way. If I have a son that's an elite player like that. Like, there's no way that I'm not sending him to the best Power 5 school that I can send him to, because to me, based on my 40 years of watching this stuff, that's where he's going to have the best experience. That's where he's going to get become the best player because of the level of competition. And that's just the way I feel about it. And
Mrs. Ferman, yeah, he put me back on, Mrs. Ferman. I'm okay. Yep, it's all good now. Thank you. Thanks for your help and telling Gary to put me back on the screen.
Hey, listen. Okay. Like, even Stevens, man, it's like, I had to do something to finish my thought. All right. Now, in fairness to you, you did make a good point about Mario Cristobal, the recruiter, and we're going to find out if that's true, which brings me to another story on the website this morning. There are 3 prior Oregon commitments that are going to be visiting Miami together this weekend. These are kids that were recruited by Mario Cristobal and the staff, many of whom are at Miami right now, who held off on signing in December and have kind of reopened their recruitment, and that's bringing them to Coral Gables this weekend. And I'm talking about a really good-looking offensive lineman by the name of Dave Iuli, a defensive end by the name of Grayson Holton, and a cornerback who's really, really good in Jahil Florence. And Florence and Holton are from the San Diego area where Keyshawn Smith came from. And I'm going to tell you something. After Oregon's bowl game, when recruiting cranked back up, the first place that Mario Cristobal went was San Diego. And that tells you he really likes these 2 kids. And they will be visiting Miami this weekend. And it's going to be a good litmus test to see if he can convince them to become Miami Hurricanes. And, that'll be something to watch here. I think, Matt, you would agree over the weekend.
Oh, wait, there's somebody else on the show with you? I thought this was a Gary Ferman soliloquy hour.
Ahead,
if you want someone to talk, tell them they can talk. I don't know. You tell me I can't talk. You can talk. You can't talk. You can talk. Yes, talk. Oh, my God. Now I got to look at my workout machine. This is great. Well, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm not going back and addressing the ridiculous comments Gary made before he threw me off the screen because he was so upset that he was wrong. But I will tell you, I did talk to Dave Iuli. We have a really nice story. I love that kid. He is going to be an awesome interview for any media people once he gets to Miami, because, yes, I think he will wind up a Miami Hurricane. He really does like Miami. He loves Mario Cristobal. All 3 of these kids coming this weekend were Oregon commitments to Mario. One of them remains an Oregon commitment right now, but if all 3 of these kids are all friends, if they all have a good time on this visit, they're going to go through their due diligence, of course, the rest of the month, but I think there's a really good chance with all 3 of them. And then also Matthew McCoy is coming, an offensive lineman. He likes Miami a lot. That's probably a Miami-Florida battle. He's coming this weekend too, those 4 guys. The 21st, they're having their big junior day, so there won't be any visitors then. And I think that last weekend before signing day, which I said before is the most important weekend to get visitors in because it's the last hurrah before the signing day. So you'll have Shamar Stewart here, Kristen Miller will be here, our Mason Thomas will be here, Ahmad Moten will be here, and I'm sure they're going to have more people that they're going to dial in for that last weekend visit if they can. Oh, look who's back. And
hey, that exercise machine was in the same position it was in yesterday. So there is no way you use that today. No chance.
I mean, I did. But what do you...
It's in the exact same spot. I don't believe you.
All right. I mean, you're saying the steps are in the exact same spot, or the machine itself? Because the machine doesn't move.
Everything.
I know you don't work out, Gary, but like the machine doesn't move around the room while you're doing it. It stays there. Like it's not a mobile.
Every part of it is in the exact same position.
I don't use the arms. I don't use the arms.
If you
people who use the first of all, people who use the arms.
Convince everybody you're actually using it. It's fine.
I don't even know why they put arms on there, because the people who use the arms, all it does, it means you have weak legs because you got to use the arms to help your legs out. I don't do that. I got big, strong legs, just like the Miami Hurricanes offensive linemen.
Yeah, well, they have for now. A lot of them have skinny arms, but that's going to change with Coach Feld on the case.
By the way, I'm not happy. I'm not happy with, speaking of offensive linemen, with this whole Twitter campaign. Lou Hedley's coming back. Zion Nelson's coming back. Yeah, we already knew they were coming back. Tweet out some new news. Like, why would we be so excited about something we already knew 3 weeks ago? I don't understand. Like, this is like sort of.
Well, they got new graphics people.
Oh my God!
They're
like
turning
Mario,
over the whole
I know
graphics
Mario's
department.
I know Mario's busy with recruiting, and these people need something to do. But like Mario, tell him to tweet out the new news. Like, we don't need like this is breaking news. We look at our phone, we're like, didn't we know this 3 weeks ago? Like, that's not doing me any favors. I got too much stuff going on to be wasting my time on this stuff.
Well, they've got new guys in the building that are creating graphics. Brought the guy from USC and whatever, and I guess they're catching up on the work orders. Or
I mean, seriously, like, what are they gonna tweet next? Like, Tyler Van Dyke is back. I mean, I don't understand it.
Yeah, well, so anyways, you got these 3 Oregon kids, recruits, coming in this weekend, and that's going to be a great litmus test. And we got a story on that on the website this morning that I urge everybody to take a look at. We also have a story this morning on top local wide receiver talent. Andy Jean from Miami Northwestern, a kid that is very firmly now on Miami's recruiting radar, and wasn't really to this degree before. So that's a story worth checking out as well. We've got our Canes in the NFL Week 18 feature. You can take a look and see what the Pro Canes did in the National Football League in the final week of the regular season. So that'll be a good one to check out. And then, last but not least, we have 2 stories this morning on Miami basketball. And yeah,
they've earned those 2 stories. They earned those stories.
They have earned those stories. And first off, Matt, I want to talk about the fact that they got totally screwed yesterday when the top 25 polls came out, both the AP and the coaches poll, and nobody put them in the top 25.
Good.
Now,
good.
Listen, if you're going to be a pollster, and I hope they're all watching this show this morning, if you're going to be a pollster, like, pay attention to what's going on in college basketball. How do you not have the first place team in the ACC in the top 25 poll?
Oh, please. They're ranked number 2 out of every ACC team in the poll. Boo-hoo-hoo. Give them some motivation. This is motivation. And they're still number 2 in the ACC in the poll.
Oh, you mean like they got to win all 3 games now? They got to beat Florida State twice and North Carolina to get respect? No,
what's going to happen? Listen,
the polls don't matter.
The polls don't matter. They'll be in the tournament.
If they do well, you're interrupting me. If they do well.
If I interrupt you, I'd never talk.
If they win 2 of these next 3, they're doing well. Okay, and then it's going to be what? They lost the game, and now they're still not ranked. I mean, it's a joke, man. It's a joke. They took Duke, and I'm not saying Duke is clearly a top 10 team. Duke definitely still belonged in the top 10. But you drop them from 2 to 8, and the team that beat them on their home floor that is in first place in the ACC doesn't get ranked? I mean, I'm sorry, man. Matt, I'm assuming you agree with me. That is not right, and I hope it changes.
All right, listen, I don't care about the freaking rankings in basketball because if you make the NCAA tournament, and they will if they're a little above 500 in the ACC, that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Yeah.
But this is the best. This is the best. They're ranked number 3 in the KenPom luck ratings. I know a lot of you are complaining we're talking too much basketball, but this is just sort of funny anyway. Like, they actually have a luck rating in these polls, and Miami players have been told that they're number 3 in the luck rating. Like, that's something real. And I looked it up actually, and what do you think goes into the luck rating, Gary? How would you determine a luck rating for a particular team versus another team? What would you do?
No idea.
It's
close games.
It's a team that's involved in close games.
Yeah,
they should win half of them, and apparently because Miami's winning way more than half of them, they get moved up in the luck rating. The 3rd luckiest team in the country.
I got a bulletin for KenPom and whoever does these luck ratings. Like, this is the ACC. This is a balanced basketball conference this year. There's really we found out when Miami went into Cameron and beat Duke that there's really no team that's at a level far above all the other teams in the conference. And there's going to be close games, folks. And if you're winning the bulk of them, you deserve recognition for winning the bulk of them, especially if you're in first place. And rankings matter for the University of Miami because it helps with recruiting. It helps with respect. It helps put fans in the seats at the arena. I hope that the Miami Athletic Marketing Department wakes up a little bit and fills the arena next week for the Florida State and North Carolina games, because that team deserves a full house. having accomplished what they've accomplished here. And that marketing department is not always doing them justice. Well, I hope they get that arena filled for those games next week, because those are going to be big games for that team against North Carolina and Florida State at home, regardless of what happens tonight in Tallahassee.
So let me get this straight. You think a marketing department can put fans at football games and fans at basketball
100%.
games?
You got to put together.
If the teams win, the fans go. If the teams lose,
well,
they've been winning. Doesn't matter.
They've been winning, and they should have a twofer package, man.
I hate to tell you, Gary, but nobody
should be able to buy any seat that's available in that arena for both games.
It's like baseball. It's like there are passionate fans about baseball, passionate fans about Miami baseball, passionate fans about Miami basketball, but they're outnumbered 100-1 by the just general football fans. So, like, it's a problem because people complain on this. Why are we talking about basketball? We don't care about basketball. Like, those are comments on our YouTube page. It's like we're talking about, I don't want to denigrate any sport, but, like, picture some Olympic sport that nobody cares about at Miami, like, that nobody ever talks about. And, that's what we're talking about. Like, men's basketball is the biggest sport at so many major programs. It's just sad that at Miami, where they have had so much success in the past, no, they haven't won a national title in basketball, but they've won the ACC. They've been, high seeds in the NCAA tournament or decent seeds in the NCAA tournament and things like that. And they look like they're going to be there again. It's sort of sad, but it's, marketing, forget it. Like, don't mention marketing with me in Miami basketball because they're throwing their money away. Fans are either going to come because they're winning. Maybe they won't come when they're winning, which they're not right now.
How much money do you have to spend to put out a two-game package promotion? Like, what do they have? They probably have 100,000 email addresses.
You remember when they were giving out tickets at the local eateries to go to Miami Hurricanes football games for free and still people wouldn't show up? They could make every ticket free, which, by the way, basically they are right now, because if you go on StubHub, you can get in for like $8. Like, the tickets are free and no one's coming. So what marketing plan do you have, Gary? Buy 18 tacos and you can get 4 tickets to the game? Nobody's coming for free.
No, man, you got to get people. You got to convince people to go. This team deserves the support, and
I agree with that. But don't say marketing.
Years ago, they were selling out the arena. There's no reason they shouldn't be selling out the arena again. I get it. They had a couple bad years. They had the FBI thing that happened. We can't rewrite history. This team deserves to have people watching it. It's a fun team, an exciting team, an entertaining team. I hope that everybody gets out to those games next week. They're big games against North Carolina, Florida State, attractive opponents. Fill the buck and support that team to victory. That's my sales pitch because they deserve it.
But by the way, I can't wrap my head around. They have an on-campus arena.
And they don't market to the students and let them know there's a game.
But you can't even fill that little tiny bleachers
because they don't tell the students there's a game.
Every student knows there's a game? I got 2 kids in college. They know when every home game is.
They don't know Miami. They don't know. There's nobody. There's nobody out there promoting the students coming to the game, going into the dorms, letting them know there's a game. I
respectfully disagree. I think if you're a student and you like sports, you pretty much know when the games are. It's not too hard in this day and age to go on.
How do they know if nobody tells them that? If nobody's posting it on campus, if nobody's going to the frat houses, if nobody's going in the dorms and getting them to come out, if somebody's not getting a pizza sponsor and feeding them pizza before the game and things like that, if the students aren't being marketed to, you can't just assume they know there's a game.
Is it the same way in football? Because I would think you would disagree in football. Do you think in football they don't know there's a game that Saturday?
I think in football they usually know when there's a game.
Okay, I think that.
But I don't think it's as simple as that with basketball.
First of all, basketball, the game's right there in the middle of the campus. Like, it's not hard to just see people on campus walking to the game and people driving around on Santa Maura to the game. Like, you see it. You're a student. You walk around to the game.
You got to tell the kids that are in the dorms and stuff that there's a game. In my opinion, I don't think they're just choosing not to go. And knowing that there's a game, I think that there's just not a good enough marketing effort taking place with the students. I don't think there's a good enough marketing effort taking place with the Hurricane Club and other fans and football ticket holders and stuff who might go to a game. I don't think there's good enough marketing going on anywhere. And I think Dan Radakovich is going to fix all that because he's very quickly going to see that this stuff is not happening at the level it needs to in this program. And that's one of the places where he can make the biggest impact.
I mean, Jim Larinaga used to have players go hand out pizzas in the dorms. And you say, go in the dorms. COVID regulations, I'm not sure they'd even be allowed in the dorms handing out pizza to kids. Like, what do you do right now? You place an ad in the Herald, hey, there's a game tonight, come see it? No, like, it is what it is. It is what it is. The team's been great. They deserve a full stadium. They're not going to get it. Like, it just is what it is. People know there's a game. They're just not going. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, Gary. You can argue the market anything all you want.
Listen,
I disagree.
In your world, nothing gets marketed. Whoever shows up, whatever. In your world, there's no scouting reports. Whatever happens on game day on the floor happens on the floor organically. There's no game plan. There's no strategy. There's no scouting of tendencies in your world. Everything just happens in Matt Shodell's world. But in the world that I live in, you sometimes got to market. You sometimes got to scout. You sometimes got a game plan, okay? And, the scouting and the game plan, regardless of what you have said the last few days, I believe is happening in Miami basketball. And now it's the marketing department's time to get some people in the arena, okay, and fill those seats and show off that product, that you got a good product now, and build momentum. You got to get some good NIL stuff going on here for the offseason so that you can keep some of your players who might go to Europe to make their $100,000 otherwise, but maybe they could be talked into staying here, and keep this positive momentum going because you were derailed for a couple of years by the FBI. That's my sales pitch at Miami Athletic Marketing Department. We'll see what happens next week. We'll be talking about it as those games approach. We'll see what happens when the basketball team goes to Tallahassee this evening. Matt Shodell, do you have any parting words?
Yeah, I would respond to your fake news, except you would kick me off the screen again and just keep on lying about stuff. It's like,
I don't know what you think is fake news.
Listen, I'm going to have...
telling it like it is, man. They've been letting that program down from a marketing standpoint.
People can watch our taping yesterday. I didn't say there was no game planning for the Duke game. I said there was... Can I speak?
You said everything just happened. Don't give Jim Larinaga too much credit.
I know you love picking that.
You absolutely said that.
What I said, if you listen, as I said, they only had 2 days between the games. It was a night game. They couldn't practice the next day. They had one full practice to prepare. I said what they did in the Duke game, if you watch the second half of the Syracuse game, it was very similar. So they didn't have to rewrite the playbook in one day and try to figure out, oh my God, it's Duke, what do we do?
They
used Sam Wardenberg beautifully, but that was probably a plan from earlier, is what I said, because he was hurt. Had COVID the prior 2 games and couldn't play. And they've only played 5 games in the ACC. They're not going to rewrite their game plan for every single team. I'm sorry, you may believe that, Gary, but I think you're out of touch. They know what they have. And Jim Larinaga clearly said today,
what I said, the game plan for playing Duke is totally different than the game plan for playing Syracuse?
Not totally different. No.
Are you kidding me?
You do what you do best. And what they do best is they play man-to-man defense, and they get their hands in the lanes, and they disrupt plays. And on offense, they pass the ball, and they run their motion offense. And that's it. And that's what they've been doing. And they've been trapping in the corners. That's what they're doing. Now, there are little things that you can tweak. And for fans that don't like basketball, just like in football, you do what you do best. Just because a team may have a weak defensive line, if your offensive line sucks and your running game is awful and you thrive on passing, you're not going to just keep running the ball all day long. Like, you do what you do best. That's what they do best. They can tweak some things to try and maybe stop a particular player on a team. But for you to say, Gary, that they had this amazing game plan just for Duke, I disagree. That's all I said.
Let me ask you a question.
And you freaked out.
How many three-pointers, and you may know this, I would have to look it up. How many three-pointers did they make in the Syracuse game?
Oh, in the Syracuse game, remember, they were down by 22, so they came back using the 3. Again,
okay. How many three-pointers did they make against Duke?
Duke went out of the zone when they kept scoring off of it using Sam Wardenberg. That's all. They didn't have to shoot.
How many three-pointers did they make in the Duke game?
Not a lot.
I think it was 4.
So your game plan is three-pointers?
So my point is this.
Your game plan is how many three-pointers you shoot?
No, man. Come on.
My
point is the way they beat Duke in no way resembled the way they beat Syracuse. Sorry. This is a team that is doing a great job. You're
wrong, but that's okay.
They're very versatile. Jim Larinaga is doing a great job of coaching them. He is going to get an extension out of this, trust me. And he might be National Coach of the Year if they can keep it up. They're not going to win every game.
They played fine. Okay,
but if they finish in the top 2,
to relax.
If they finish in the top 2 or 3 of the ACC, he's probably going to be a strong candidate for National Coach of the Year. So we'll see what happens.
If they had lost to Duke by 1, which, by the way, they should have, okay, if not for a missed free throw that was offensive rebounded over a taller player, if they had lost by 1, Gary, which should have happened, would you still be saying all this? Because it literally was just a moment,
don't
and they
look at it
played
like that.
great.
They miss
They
free
played
throws
great.
too. Like
They played
everybody
great
misses free
regardless.
throws.
But you're making it sound like they're the greatest team in the history of Miami
They
basketball.
were unbelievable at Cameron the other night. Unbelievable. They played an amazing game. To go in that place with Coach K on a farewell tour, so he's going to get every single benefit of the doubt from the already biased ACC refs. That atmosphere, the Cameron crazies on top of your, I mean, most of you probably have never been to Cameron Indoor. I was there a couple times, but once for a game. It is the most unbelievable freaking snake pit that you will ever see in your life. You've got those insane kids that all have 4.5 GPAs that are stressed out to the max because of their course loads and their tests that they have to take every week and all the homework they have to do till 3 a.m. and everything else. And they unleash it in those basketball games, and it is absolutely insane in that place. And for Miami to go in there and win the way they did, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not going to apologize for being impressed. I thought it was absolutely unbelievable, and I hope that they don't have a letdown tonight at Tallahassee, because you would hate to see Florida State break that 9-game win streak.
Yeah, and by the way, football-wise, I mean, not to be too dramatic or whatever, but like we're mentioning all the silly tweets Miami sent out. We didn't mention Tyreek Stevenson's coming back, which I think everyone expected anyway, even though he said he was 50-50. So, but yeah, he also did say that last night. So that was good.
Good. I'm glad he made a good decision.
Yeah.
I hope we can do an NIL deal with him.
We were making fun of all the other guys who we already knew were coming back. So I guess that's one, at least hypothetically, we didn't mention. So that's a big deal. I mean, we knew he was coming back for the most part, but I mean, that is a big deal. They needed him back.
It's a very big deal that Tyreek Stevenson going. It's a big deal that Lou Hedley's coming back too, man. That's two areas of the team that are going to be much more solid, obviously, with those guys back. All right, that's going to do it for today for Good Morning CaneSport. We hope everybody has a great day. Watch the Canes basketball team tonight against Florida State. We'll be back tomorrow with another Good Morning CaneSport. So for Matt Shodell, I'm Gary Ferman. We thank you as always for joining us, and have a great day, everybody.